Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining YJP today. We are going to have a beautiful session on YJP finance and technology crossover. We'll be happy to host you on this platform to learn about what are the latest tools in machine learning and AI, and how can you upgrade your business and your skills so that you can scale your business to the next level. You'll be very happy to know we have unbelievable guests on our call who are an expert in this field. I want to say thank you to Vatsal Shah, who took this initiative to put together this beautiful program together with us. And we have Minesh Doshi, who is our master of ceremony and a data engineer and an insurance specialist. So we have some unbelievable guests on the call today. Plus, all of you are an expert too. Either you are a business owner or you probably are thinking about a business. So you guys are the experts. So with that, I want to start with Navkar Mantra. That's how IJP events start. So I would respectfully ask if everybody can hold your hands and we can do Navkar Mantra together.
And please unmute yourself.
Om Namo Ariyantanang, Namo Siddhanang, Namo Ayariyanang, Namo Vajjanang, Namo Loe Savasavanang, Eso Panchamokaro, Sava Pavanasano, Manglanam Cha Savyasin, Parumang Havai, Mangalam. Jai Jinendra.
Jai Hind.
Excellent. Thank you. So, with that, I'll pass it to Minesh Bhai to start his session and then we'll continue with the agenda. So, Minesh Bhai, over to you for the agenda.
Thank you, Apurva bhai. So, as Vatsal bhai mentioned earlier, we want to keep this more interactive. So, keep your questions coming. We may be, sorry, I'm just getting an echo. Maybe, sorry, bhai, I'm going to mute you.
Yeah.
We are going to keep this interactive. So, keep your questions flowing. We will ask questions as we see fit. I'll be hosting those question and answer ceremony as well. But largely we'll take the Q&A at the end, so I can monitor your questions. And before we begin, I think I want to level set the expectation. Like, to us, mostly we came to know about AI when ChatGPT announced what it is actually. And as now a search engine is equal to Google, and we use Google as a verb, that, hey, why don't you Google it? I think AI is more synonymous to why don't you chat GPT it. But AI is much more than chat GPT. And in order to understand the baseline as to what AI truly means, Vatsal bhai, can you explain what is beyond chat GPT in terms of AI?
Yep. Sure. Just a quick introduction about myself. I think I see a lot of familiar faces, so that's good to see here. My name is Vatsal, and I'm the co-founder and the CTO of the company called Speak AI. We are running a company for 7 years in Canada. We started way before we heard about the chat GPT. We're doing a lot of manual processes. So there is a lot to unbuckle here. First and second is, like, I do a lot of kind of the consulting work with the companies and with the individuals to grow up above or beyond what we all know is ChatGPT. Second, I think Apurva bhai mentioned expert. I think everyone is expert here. If you are utilizing ChatGPT, everyone is expert. Everyone is at the PhD level. Kind of the model accessible to them. So that second thing. And the third here is, there's a lot of other tools are available nowadays. And, when I'm talking to even in our community or even outside, people are still, talking all of their questions, either technical, non-technical, business, sales, marketing, revenue, finance, like you just pick the industry. Still most of this routing is still going to kind of the chat GPT, and there's a lot more you can explore, you can build upon. You can take this opportunity, either you are running your own business, and that's the focus we wanted to keep it, because as I'm running the business based in Canada, how we can leverage the AI as a technology to expand further. And like I have the very small kind of the presentation. here, and I'll just give you the one caveat after this presentation on it. Yeah, happy to share and walk you guys through with that.
Sure, Vatsal.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to do any sort of the monolithic. I hate that. So if anyone have any questions, feel free to share in the chat box. I may invite maybe a couple of people, depend on how it goes. So as a speaker, so come on board and try to share what do you think as well, just to make it more interactive and fun. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So try to keep tagline as like moving beyond chatbots to intelligent workflow orchestration. And why I'm saying that, and I'm a very big believer. I don't know how you are engaged or tell. Like AI has made like lazy people more lazier, and energetic people more busier. I don't know. I must be, if you're working in industry, you're passing your work to the ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini and stuff, and it's like you have some more free time. Or maybe for the business owners, you are now more busier than before because you wanted to do more, and that is comes the next point on. I think it is very overwhelming for all of us. There's a so many things are going on right now in the market. There is new product coming on every single day, so it's really hard to keep up with. And especially these are like the rough stats on like it's a 4,000 apps plus are launching every specifically month. That kind of the big opportunity we are all seeing right now because of the AI. And the second is basically business owners try to want to build or try to experiment with the every single tool is available in the market, but I think that is not going to break the ice. You need to understand the foundation, and you need to ignore these tools, and then you need to figure out the pattern that is helping you to scale your business, or logically get the help from the experts. Let me walk you through example and try to reconnect. If anyone is, please raise your hand or come on board. If you're planning to travel to, let's say, Mexico or India, or any destination where you never been to, what are the couple of questions you go on Google and ask? Like any questions you guys ask, like what are the top questions if you want to go, let's say, travel to X country? Like what are the first few questions that come to your mind?
Places to visit, or like travel deals.
Travel deals, places to visit,
Hotel booking,
hotel booking,
Food to eat.
and like
what to
the
do always.
itinerary for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever we are looking forward to.
Correct. Item is best places
Whether
to
going
visit.
to be is the area safe?
Okay. Basically, best places to visit. So now, let's say even in this room, if everyone asks the same question about this country, Mexico, for example, if you want to travel, how are we all going to end up? At the same places, at the same hotel, at the same restaurants, and everything. Everyone is, you will see nearby, like everyone is on the ChatGPT. It's like, where should I go next? And it's like everyone is going to be end up on the same place. So what is happening right now, especially is we are all ending up at the same place with the logically same outcome. So there is no AI personalization comes in a play right now. So that's why it's a very big opportunity if you have kind of SMB products, or any sort of the products or the physical products that you wanted to sell. What is happening that you want to do? You can rank further on even these engines using the AI to give that opportunity for your product or the businesses to show up, because whatever is coming, people are going to go with that, because no one wants to spend 10 hours figuring out where should I go, where should I eat. So that's a one example where a lot of we are seeing this neutral kind of the flow with the humans. So how can you take this opportunity? That's the problem or the stage I wanted to set up. The second, big question asked into the poll of the question answer in the form was like, okay, why should we adopt? Why AI or why SMBs is getting advantage using that? And to be honest, even we utilize on AI on every day-to-day basis. And that is, to me, efficiency is like, kind of the margin protection. So what is allowing you to do is whatever the margin you are selling to or you are making to, you have a more leverage or overhead, you can pass it to AI in a smarter way to, to figure it out. You can run 24/7 operation. You have, on demand kind of the, the technology and the tools. Now the question is, okay, great. We all know that, but what's next? How we do that? So these are the three things, like kind of the transformation, at least we should learn at the end of the day, is kind of the productivity for individuals, like how we can do more stuff, the cost efficiency, which is logically the system, which I would request everyone to think about in your day-to-day. How can you set up some sort of the systems in your day-to-day to figure out this automation? So you can do, if you're doing 2 things, you can do 10 things. If you're doing 10 things, you can do 100 things. And logically at the end, like, kind of the strategy at a scale, how to expand further, and let's dip down underneath. So we talk about ChatGPT, but there are so many other models that, you all should be prioritized. I have like 4 tabs open with all 4 models. For one question, just going to the one single large language model is not going to give you the outcome you are looking for. So people complains, hey, I asked ChatGPT or Gemini to solve X, but when I went to the second day, it gave me completely different outcome. People are complaining, it gives me the outcome, but when I say, hey, you are wrong, however, it will respond it's like, oh, you are right, let me correct it. It will go back, correct it, and make another mistake. So I think it's going to be an infinitive loop where it's always going to be make mistakes. So how do you select kind of the tools available to us? In my experience, like Gemini is really great at, like, if you have like kind of the admin or the finance team, because you're dealing with a lot of numbers, you are dealing with a lot of data, and especially the integrations and all. So what is helping you is to pass through a large chunk of the data to the Gemini, or let's say Claude. If you are into the software industry, if you're into the product kind of, the marketing or dev teams, I think Claude is the fantastic. So maybe if you route few of your question from ChatGPT to Claude, you may see a huge set of the margin of the difference. Third is obviously the ChatGPT, we all know. And the fourth is the perplexity, which I wanted to double click and focus upon. Why? Because, they launched the browser. I don't know how many of you are aware about the browser part they have launched. And, how many are actually using it in your day-to-day?
I'm using it.
Oh, great. Awesome. Nice. I think
Comet you're talking about, right? What's it?
No, perplexity from Comet from Comet program. Yes, that's great. I think that's good to hear. And like if you guys are not aware, I'll share the link at the end, which will help you logically to just get the 1 month pro for free. And I'll also show you how to better even utilize it for either it's a long form of data, even if it is the something you wanted to automate in your day to day and don't want to do the labor work. I think it's fantastic one, not just for identifying the search or something. So I just have, this is like the maybe some sort of the boring, but at the same time like informative in a sense of where to pick or how to pick depending on the use cases you are dealing with. So even let's say, I think Ekans, you talk about you're using Comet, but if you're going for Comet on everything, are you finding better outcome? You think it's like, maybe for something it's fine, but for other things, I need to figure out something else.
So I'm currently, what I'm doing since we use Google Workspace. So I'm currently just one use case I have tried that I have opened my Gmail into that. And I'm asking to figure out which emails I have to follow up, which are related to sales that has still like getting into cold status, those kind of leads. So that kind of thing I'm doing through Comet right now.
Lovely.
Not all use cases.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyone else want to share on any of these 4 parts?
So I don't want to share, but I do have a question,
Yeah.
I think, which largely most people will have as well. Like, as most people have not heard about the name Comet right now. Can we level set, like, what is Comet best used for as a web browser, an AI web browser,
Correct. Yeah, I have that exactly the demo for that. So let me open that up. So this is the one, this is the Comet, which basically, share the link, you can download it later on. So what's basically
Well done.
uh, what is basically helping you is basically it's living in like a Google search. So you're not losing the capability of the Google search, but at the same time giving you the more that you could do. For example, this is the real data which I have exported recently. This is from my website. So what I wanted to figure out is like, hey, these are the keywords which, let's say, I'm ranking. And this could be, let's say, financial data. This could be marketing data. This could be sales data. So please try to connect with your own set of problem in your mind. We'll walk through this real-time case study here, okay? So I have this queries, I have this page ranking, blah, 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 where people are. So what I wanted to figure out is, opportunity to expand, my traffic or the search, utilizing my existing keywords. I'm not going to go and figure out where I'm lacking, what can I do better, or what else can be done. And what it will do, it will not look at just the one, site which is open. It will switch the tab. It will take the control of your browser and figure out where the data is leaking, where the click-through rates. This is just the data from, the analytics. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of the analytics data, but just a high level. So now let's run through this one. Can you find the opportunity to work through any other queries that can help or expand the growth, let's say, because we are focusing on growth and business for the business owners here. So look at queries pages from the Google Sheet I'm sharing here. So you can see it is taking the control. If you have not experienced or if you have not seen how the Comet works, what's happening here, it's taking the control. It's going through the different tabs. And that can be, this is just the example of the Google Sheet, that can be the complex form you are working with. And what usually it does step by step is obviously prioritize the impact. Second, it will take the screenshot, it will switch the tab, and it will go in very nitty-gritty details that as a, with respect to the time of the human, it will be next to impossible to get the outcome within that time frame. So just take a pause, here just to process what's happening, and even how you can connect in your own use case. So it will went through all the tabs. It find, let's say, mid-funnel opportunities. I don't know, like these are just the, coming from a website, but like it will go in very details and you can expand further on top of that. So it's just not ChatGPT where or maybe Gemini, you're just passing one-to-one data to them versus giving them a full control and figure out how you can do better. Another example I have is, for example, this is I think everyone is using right now, which is basically asking you like, hey, what is in my page? Hey, can you summarize the video? Can you tell me what else can be done? But let's say I have this contact form. Will you please submit the form on my website page so that I can connect with this person? Let's see. So it took the control. Demos are always scary. I think I'm sure this will work, but because this is not I have built, I'm utilizing it, to scale up my experience, to scale up the speed and the intensity I wanted to go with, the availability of the tools. Of course, let me just refresh, try again. I can
I also tried to book a order on Amazon, so it did it for me. Like book means like it took me to the cart and it has added all the products in the cart. I just had to pay it manually.
Correct.
So that is one of the use cases I tried.
Lovely. Yep. So you can expand further. You can do more. So if like, yeah, I'll just pause here. Obviously, you can see it took the control, and you can finish up any sort of the complex form you are working with. If you're submitting, let's say, as a business owner for a grant or kind of the more complex proposal you are working with, this is kind of, you can sit in parallel, reading, controlling, finalizing, or helping you looking at the Google at the same time, rather than going back and forth. So this is the advantage, being on the edge, you can take it as. So just go back. I think this is fine. Claude, we talk about perplexity, we talk about. I think this is very important. I wanted to touch upon. Everyone, as I said, everyone is expert if you know how to use the ChatGPT. But there's a very thin line between being an expert and actually being an expert. What people are used to, when I talk with most of the people, They just give what they are looking and Google, they just say the same thing on this large language model. But this large language model are trained differently. And I don't want to go into the details, but I wanted to share like how can you get the consistent better outcome in most of the scenarios. And that's called the context engineering. I'm sure you have heard online somewhere if you're not. If people are not aware, context engineering basically feeding the context about your problem statement or about the query you are trying to look for, to get the better response. For example, we talk about travel to Mexico. If I just say, hey, just give me the itinerary for 4 days, travel to Mexico. You haven't talked about if you're going with the family, are you going with friends, are you going as a couple? You haven't talked about your budget. You haven't given any sort of the context about from where are you going or what is your landing kind of thing. So the more better you try to keep this framework in mind, kind of the what role the LLM supposed to perform is like, hey, act as a travel agent kind of thing, or act as an itinerary agent. What is the task you are trying to give? And what is the context, which is like, hey, I'm going with the family for 4 days. This is my budget. These are the places I like, adventure, relaxation, whatever. And any sort of the constraint you wanted to put along with that. So what is helping you or helping at least, these models are having the proper context to give you the consistent outcome. Another example, hey, I run this business for example, as a dental clinic, which I have a case study here, I'll share here in a moment, where I wanted to have the consistent response to, my client in an email or in the kind of the responses which I wanted to collect and ask for the feedback. So the moment you start the form, you need to collect this structural responses, from the patients or the people are attending there. So the better the framework, you keep this framework in mind, and this definitely will help you to scale up, with the consistent outcome there. I think someone talked about the agentic part. I think it was Saurabh, wanted to, figure out what is agent versus agentic kind of thing. I'm sure he's
Yes.
experienced with that. Some sort of the agentic we are hearing a lot. So
Mhm.
what's going on exactly with the agent and agentic, how it is different, why it is different, and what that means to us. We all experience with a chatbot, as we said many times, we are talking to it and we are just trying to get something done, which is like just a single task versus something you wanted to automate, which it will do on its own. That is logically reading the emails, parsing the emails, creating a draft, sending emails, receiving the response, and also responding to them, or putting some sort of the scoring mechanism or the sorting to help you understand what's happening. And there's one caveat here, which is basically to include the human, intervention if this is going south, where you don't want to go in a loop where it is just keep running. So that's something, just a definition of doing versus talking. Agent, which is a single part, is more towards like, one single task or asking, versus agentic is more towards like executing on the ground with multiple complex workflow. For example, I have, a couple of use cases here. It's like, hey, read these recipes, categorize expenses, whatever, and put it into the Google Sheet. You are doing on every day. I think you should automate that. And that's logically kind of the agentic workflow, you would like to set up in your day-to-day. Again, you can connect with your own case study, but these are kind of the thing you wanted to figure out. Either you wanted to automate or you just wanted to use an AI to do the one task.
Mhm. Okay.
There's another issue here, with, for example, is an example called, automated outreach. Whoever in sales here in this group, I'm sure you have the salespeople or you have some sort of the process with the CRM where you are sending just the regular templates, regular emails to expand or create an awareness about your services, about your business. The hard part is like identifying the prospect, which kind of the audience you wanted to target, how do you wanted to work through. The second is enriching about their information. What are the last tweet, what are the LinkedIn there, what are the posts they have put on LinkedIn, any conversations you have in past. Can I collect all this information to have and generate the very personalized email to them, rather than saying that, hey, this is my XYZ service and this is how I can help, versus going very personalized to them by collecting this information. So now what you're doing, this is the example we took, right? If everyone is going to the same restaurant because of, they're traveling to they are traveling to Mexico and they look at on ChatGPT. Now what you are creating is creating the personalized email. Because of the AI, you can aggregate all this information under the one hood. And you might have emails, you might have CRM, you might have different transcription, which you might have the recordings with. You might have just the iPhone notes. So this all aggregation of the information will basically help an agent to understand what kind of the context I am feeding. So just trying to connect with my previous slide about the context engineering this is the one. Rather than saying that, hey, just help me draft the sales email, help me draft the marketing email, help me draft, a job perspective email, that whatever can be, but now feeding this context as that framework is really going to open up a lot of opportunity. And I see in my day to day, when I have this agentic system set up on my end. This is one about, doing the regular work kind of thing on how to automate something. But I want to talk a bit off from here, which is like, it's a huge opportunity if you are innovator, if you are a business owner, that you can innovate so much. You can go and cross your boundary to figure out something which you may just have think or thought about in your dreams. So this is the great golden opportunity for us. What I have done, I saw something, somewhere, I think on social media, where someone shared this image with, this retro camera, which pull up this image in real time. And it's like, give you this retro feeling. I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and build one to you just get the memory. So what happened? Like I just give a prompt, and because of the every single setup I have, as you can see, hello again, you can just go ahead and build one and have it ready to go. What I wanted to connect here is, if you think about your business, your day to day, you can go beyond the possible, or the possibilities are just instead of just the automation or something like that. So try to be innovative, try to be something that you may just have think about in your dreams that can be achievable now with the tools, with the proper context, with the sort of the prompts you wanted to feed. So I think something, is like, hey, just take a picture, like it's just coming up. You can say something nostalgic, put a date. So this is just for fun. So just wanted to recollect. It's like, hey, you can do more and innovate in your day to day there. So I think I'll just take a pause. I have the one case study I wanted to walk through, but I'll give transfer back to you.
Sure. Thank you, Apurva, Vatsalbhai. So one of the benefits of of me being associated with data and insurance expertise, I also got an opportunity to sponsor our YJP events, and along with that, I do have a small presentation for my insurance business that I wanted to walk you through, guys. Walk you through. So allow me to screen share. Are we able to see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So what I actually wanted to talk about today is expert financial analysis. Like obviously many people have heard about life insurance, but they also have some questions about, how do we start? Where do we start? How much do I need? Etc. and so forth. Most people also rely on GoFundMe, particularly when we have visitors coming and our parents coming to India, because life insurance from Canada is very expensive, but it's very cheap in India. Or they have medical conditions that they are not suitable for, getting life insurance. But rest assured, I do have plans for most visitors that come in. I am a broker with 10 plus companies, so hit me up if your parents coming on visitor visa or super visa as well. But as I was talking about the GoFundMe, do you actually know that an average GoFundMe medical fundraising campaign takes a cut, which is $2,000 to $2,600, and it can be huge based on depending on how much the actual hospital bills are. Even if you are thinking about getting a life insurance, there is something called life insurance needs analysis. which actually analyzes how much insurance do you actually need for your financial situation, which can be completely different from person to person, or even within your own family.
Did we lost
Do you
you?
know what your FIN is? FIN stands for Financial Independence Number. Do you know how much exactly you need to put away each month to retire financially free? Everyone thinks that you want to retire with $1 million, but do you know how to get there? At what rate of percentage will you get there? And how risky your current investments are? Like, and even when most people think about it, most people are failing today, as per the statistics that you can see on the screen. And why is that happening? Because mostly people are looking for transaction based services. They are looking to get insurance, they'll reach out to friends and family, they'll ask for a quote, go with the cheapest insurance, and done. No one educated that in the process. No one explained whether what policy is the right one for you or compared those things with you. That's where I step in. I simplify the complicated by educating, and I'm your plan and coach, where I'll do all of these analysis for free, and I give a free financial analysis report to everyone, whether you avail my services or not. So help out and reach out and get your report for free. And then what does that report contain? So this report contains steps on debt reduction, insurance protection, retirement savings. It also factors in children's education and wealth and tax strategies. So typically strategy that we have is, we should always look to protect first. We should protect your income, we should protect our life. Then we should look at debt elimination. Then we should invest how insurance can help your business and for
Your
legacy.
voice is cracking, Manish bhai.
Oh, is it better now?
Much better.
Okay. So as I was saying that, as most of us are business owners here, these are some of the use cases where owners can take advantage of in order to either plan their legacy or even plan tax saving strategies from the business. So if anything of this is interest to you, please feel free to reach out. And thank you.
Excellent, Manish bhai. I want to say thank you for your support for YJP. And you've been with us for the whole year of 25 and also will be with us for 2026 till April. So I love the fact that you've taken the time to appreciate us. And I like how you put the use case together because insurance planning is part of growing your business because you have experts in your business that needs to be protected in some way, shape, or form. So I love the fact how you put it together there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have
Thank
something
you.
else to say about Vatsal. Vatsal and I, we know each other probably now 7 years or maybe less. But every time we meet Vatsal, I feel like I'm learning something new. So I personally feel that, having friends in life who have so much of knowledge is an important task at hand where we can actually learn from each other. This is what young Jain professionals do as YJP is to bring professionals together, learn from each other and leverage their skills and tools. So thank you very much for sharing your presentation. So maybe at this time we can walk in right into the use case. What's up?
Yeah, awesome. Perfect. So just share in the chat if you want to grab this opportunity, to claim this 1 month free comment invite. Feel free to. I also share one more link, which I think let me share with you guys. I don't want to keep it with me. So this is something, local AI on your computer. I use a lot, to be honest. And what this is basically For normal task, if you are drafting something, what is helping me is I don't need to go to the paid models, which is like from OpenAI, Gemini, Anthropic, blah, blah, blah. I can run the open source local models on my system 24/7 without paying anything by utilizing the open source model. Yes, it does come with some sort of the accuracy, some sort of the stability there. But if you get through that context properly, you are fine. You can upload the draft, you can upload the PDF, you can upload the presentations. So if you don't have the paid plan, maybe for ChatGPT or anything, or maybe after this 1 month free commit, you can utilize something like this. This stays in your system 24/7. You can do different chats. And it's obviously works like a normal, any large language model experience. So if you are, this is just sharing out of the learnings which I have done so far. It's like, just run the local AI on your computer. If any open source models are coming in with the better accuracy, better outcome, directly available here with the one switch of the model from the drop down. This is really fantastic. I love this one. Okay. Going back to the case study. So I was like trying to figure out from all the submissions, like, okay, let's pick something specific, where I have worked personally with, with my product Speak AI. As like, how can I show the value that we are creating for this clinic? Just some context. This clinic is, based in US and Canada. They have more than kind of 250 plus clinics. It's a huge one. They have almost 5,000 ish plus doctors working at the clinic. What we have tried to help them is first is like, how can we collect this inbound calls to instantly book the appointment? Even I call my personal doctor here, it goes through a person's like, hey, please wait 5 minutes, blah blah blah. Versus like, how can we figure out an AI to talk in that sense? It's available right now, and that's where this agentic part comes into play. Second part is like, even when you go to the clinic, I'm sure for everyone you must be experiencing that you need to provide your something health card or give the dates, or with which doctor you have booked an appointment. The moment you go there, it's already available in their system to just one click away to accept you as the patients. This is the major part, where every doctor in the clinic has to report some sort of the SOP or the structure that goes marketing, sales, finance. If you're working as a manager, you might be asking for some sort of the report, or if you're working as an owner, you obviously must be aware that you need some sort of the reporting back. It's like, how are we guys doing at the end of the day? So what we have done with this clinic is get this real-time transcription from the Zoom, Google Meet, phone. Everyone is aware now because of this meeting assistant workflow. But when it is one-to-one meetings, you also wanted to collect in the structural format from your Android or iPhone phones, so that you have bundled under the one hood to gather all sort of the information. Now, once you have this information, you pass through the large language model, you provide the proper set of the instruction about your company, about your product, about your background, and what is the outcome you're looking for. I'm not talking about the prompt which you are entering into the chat box. This is completely different. We are talking about the instructions they need to give as a newbie who is joining your company. Whenever you go to any sort of the large language model, there's an option to include your instructions. So let me just pull it up after once we end this case study here. Let me show the instructions which I have set up here. So what is helping you is like structuring the notes and extracting the key patient details that they need to feed automatically to their CRM system, because that's their use case, to feed to the CRM so they can have the structured information at the end of the day. And sort of the rating system to evaluate how was the session and how it went so they can work on improving it. So these are all 5 to 6 steps can be automated completely with the automation. Not everything is required in AI. That's kind of the breakthrough I also wanted to make. Like, you can do a lot of automation and then include the AI on top of that to, scale up or grow or, increase the profit margin in your business, basically. So, these are the couple of pillars I wanted to address that are the possible that we are working in real time, with the clinics, and that is applying to financial industry or marketing and sales use cases, which is, my experience comes in play. So yeah, I just wanted to take a pause. I think Apurva bhai wanted to share on something on this case study. So just hand over and I'll pull up my instructions. So just get an idea the difference between the instructions and the prompt and the vast difference you can get at scale, especially with the business and the product.
Vatsal, thank you. I think Swati has a question. Swati, go ahead.
Hello, can you see me?
Yeah,
Am
I
I
can
on?
hear you, Swati. Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we can hear
Nice
you.
to see you there. Long time.
Yeah, long time. Sorry, I wasn't able to see if camera is working. Yeah, so one quick question. Thank you, Vatsal, for all the walkthrough. That helps a lot. What about hallucination? Because I have heard about these chatbots using large language model, but I was reading an article where even Sam Altman, like he was saying that chat, like people are trusting ChatGPT a lot. It hallucinates a lot. So, did you had any experiences about like giving different answers or the answers which doesn't make sense? And have you used some kind of strategies? Like I have, when I was trying to do some research, they talk about retrieval augmented generation, like RAG thing, agentic RAG. So did you try something like that? And did you see any kind of difference, especially with the hallucination part?
Great question, Swati, and happy to address. I think Apurva is sharing. So, or maybe Apurva, do you want me to share it there just quickly? Oh, okay.
Vatsal,
Great
go ahead.
question,
Yeah.
Swati. And I think this is something trusting the large language model, whatever they are throwing away, and trusting them. That's a big mistake people are making and still making, even with the experiences. And the RAG, which obviously we have implemented with our with the companies we are working with, is called a concept called the vector embeddings. What is vector embeddings is helping you is to feed the context, and that's why I'm trying to emphasize more on when I'm sharing this presentation on the context part. What this context is helping is to ground up the information which you are asking to the large language model, especially if you are dealing with the business or sales or marketing. RAG is a technique is to just pull up the information which are relevant to the questions you are asking. For example, you have 100 hours of media file and the transcription, and you wanted to just figure out where you went off and the sales didn't close. Now, what are the options? You go through every single call, you figure out what happened, or you just feed everything to the ChatGPT and assume that it will return the right answer. Versus using this RAG or concept called vector embeddings, what you're doing is you are collecting all this transcription into the numeric format, so that when you ask any sort of the question is like, hey, I'm working with Vatsal in last month, what happened there? So now you got a Vatsal, you got a last month, and it has the enough context to help you out to return that response. And I'll just drop a one link where this is something this is very close to me, where I have worked on and wrote this blog on how to even use advanced RAG. Just not use the RAG as a technique, but go beyond that. There's just so many things that you can do. So I just share a link, rather than going into the how to even do or go advanced there. But I hope that's good enough for you.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to understand, did you had any experience that when you use RAG or advanced RAG that has helped eliminating hallucination up to what percentage or something like that?
200%. How it helps or what percentage it helps, it still hallucinate in many ways because
It does. Okay.
because the reason is if the context is mess, like complete, a lot of garbage is there, then it's not going to help you. Second is how to ground up that data is we always look at the references. The references is basically helping you which kind of the RAG or the data it has pulled up and generated the answer. Third, we use a method called re-rank from Cohere. Cohere is also like another model from Canadian company, so we love them. They help you to basically give you the citation after every single sort of the quotation, the quote it has pulled up, or any some sort of the numbers. So now you can click on that citation to go back and figure out, hey, why did you pull up this 30% increase in my sales revenue? Can you bundle that up or back up some sort of the source of the truth there? So we use this couple of techniques in the combination to reduce the hallucination, because especially when you're working with the doctor clinics, and if you wanted to generate the structural report, even if you go 1% off, the
Yeah, that's
consequences are we all know. how it goes, right? So that's something, we work with very closely to figure out all these parts. And this does help, but you still need to be aware on how to reduce that. Great question.
Especially in finance, right? Because it's
100%.
too much like branding, because initially I was working with telecom, and when 10 years back I moved to finance, I realized that the brand image, and it's like you're in limelight a lot more,
Yeah,
especially when you deal with compliance and everything. And
correct.
we did had some kind of experiences at our work that we were doing some requirements for compliance, and we were using Copilot and Gemini, and the kind of understanding we were getting was very different. Like two
Yeah,
different chatbots are giving completely different
different
answers.
answers. Yep.
So
And
it's
try to ground up your source of the truth with some sort of the PDF or any sort of
yeah,
the Word doc kind of thing
yeah,
to ground up there or back up.
yeah. Like we kind of injected the same information in both the chatbots, the Gemini and Copilot, but we got very different answers because
Sure.
they were trying, like I think Gemini and ChatGPT, maybe they have cutoff date, and then they don't have that kind of references.
Information, up-to-date information.
So the good news was that we still need humans. After that, we thought, okay, we still need a product manager
Yeah,
because you can use it to expedite. But then when we compared the results, they were a little different. Then we
yeah,
started thinking about hallucination and maybe adding an external source for semantic search and vector
correct,
database and all that, right?
correct,
But
correct.
thank you. That helps a lot. Thank you for sharing.
I just wanted to add that, like, one thing that I have noticed is, when I'm searching, I typically tell the model, do not assume, ask me questions if you need some clarifications on, and there it actually Claude particularly gives me back a list of questions that I want to answer, and thereby making the response more effective for me. And sometimes I also give a what a bad response looks like, so it knows that this is not how I should be responding. So I think that helps with hallucination as well.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Thank you. I think one quick test which we did at our work. So we started asking Copilot that can you give us the prompts? Can you give us the example of prompts that how to ask you a question regarding this? So
Mm-hmm.
that's also very surprising because like if you try to kind of do that, the chatbots will also give you some prompts that how to talk to them. Like they will kind of frame the prompts for you as well, especially in the beginning, right? Because I think even Vatsal was mentioning that try to treat the chatbot like an intern, like a new intern who is new to the industry. They don't have any knowledge. So basically small prompts, right?
Yeah,
But the
especially about the industry you are working with, because there are so many
yeah,
use cases. If everyone is using as a generic large language model for
yeah,
them or for them as an AI, you are
hmm,
not going anywhere. You
yeah,
definitely need the human head to back up that part. And just to, include one thing, Swati, there about the prompt part, rather than asking, to the Copilot or Gemini, is like, hey, help me generate. What I
hmm,
usually do for any sort of the complex problem I'm talking about, okay, not like a simple generic one. I go to the Claude. There's a link called Claude Prompt Generator. This
okay.
Claude Prompt Generator, this model they have done is built to prompt.
Oh, okay. I
Just to
didn't know
double
that.
click on that, what is helping you is the entire model, the mind of that model is to how can I give the best prompt to utilize on any sort of the large language model.
Amazing. Okay. Yeah.
So, you can just Google it. It's called the Claude Prompt Generator. I'll drop the link if I find it quickly here.
Yeah.
But it is
Yeah.
the best one. You give in any sort of your random thoughts, it will give in such a strong format with the voice, with the notation, with the structure, infinitive things.
Yeah,
And
no, that's a good point because
Yeah.
I have used Claude very less.
Swati, sorry, we'll have to
Sorry.
continue
Yeah,
our event just to make sure we don't lose any people. We have
yeah.
put a time limit, so. But thank you very much. I think you should definitely book the meeting to get more information from Vatsal. But thank you so much. I think, Manish, do you want us to move on to the next segment?
Yes, so as we move on to the next segment, I wanted to, Apurva, ask you, like, how can businesses scale up with the help of AI, and particularly in using finance, how can they leverage, banking services to scale up as well?
Yeah, thank you very much, Manish. Yeah, so again, I think I'll keep it very simple because after this heavy information around technology and scaling up your business, you might be thinking, all of this sounds good, but so how do I pay for all these services, right? And a lot of people have money on their mind. Why are we doing all this? Let's be honest here. We are on a YJP call. We are all part of this beautiful community. The reason why we are in a business or scaling a business is to make money. Plain simple and that. Because we make money, we can help our families, our employees, our stakeholders, and definitely our community. But the core is money. Absolutely get it. So, how to get to that quickly? Vatsal shared a beautiful case study around dentistry. Use a use case around that. Let's say that cost the dentist around $20,000 to set up one module. So I'm in the finance space for last 20 years. What I've seen is plans look great on paper, but they never go to execution because they don't know how to get funding or money. And this is the platform where you can learn about it. So running it very quickly, you must have, if you are a business owner, you must have a business plan, a written business plan. That's the only way the bank is going to provide you funding. Like Vatsal showed you some beautiful slides that showed you what program can be used for what AI purpose. Same way, business plan will give you the same. So running it quickly here, you need to understand and let the world understand what your business looks like. So in this case, dentists, right? They got to talk about what kind of dentistry they are going to progress with. Are they doing restorative work? Are they doing specialist dentists where they actually do oral surgery? They need to figure out what their unique point is. There are a lot of dentists on the same area. How are they going to be different? What kind of market analysis they are going to do in order to achieve that? What kind of organizational structure do you have? Do they have one dentist, two dentists? How many owners do they have? Most importantly, do they have people to do this? Human resource. Swati just ended it so well saying, all this technology is great, but we still need people. I believe that we do need people. And most importantly, how can all this come together and you can prepare a financial projection or a financial data plan? Minesh is an expert on data. How can you actually extract all the patient charts and patient payments to know what kind of patients are coming to you for what kind of services? So, to expand on that, once you figure out where the patients flow is coming from, where the money is coming from, and what services are being offered, you have a better idea of where to invest the money. I will take a first point from Vatsal where he said, use the automation tool to handle calls coming into your dental clinic. Can I tell you something? Pick up the phone and call your local dentist. In case they do not pick up your phone on your first try, guess what? That patient is lost. And and in business, sales is the mother of everything. If you do not have patients, you do not have clients, none of these tools are useful. So if your business is looking to expand and scale, please take care of your phone. Please take care of your emails. That's where all the leads are coming from. Social media. Vatsal has said you have opportunities to really upscale on that. So financial data will show you where the money is coming from. So now I'll go quickly into an interesting part here is the executive summary. And that's where I'll put my plug in terms of financing. As a business owner, you have to take a decision whether you are ready to invest in technology. The days are gone where you can sit on the chair and make 10 calls and get patients coming in. They are not. So you must agree to upgrade your technology. How to get money? Three ways. I'll make it very simple 20 years of knowledge in 2 seconds. Number one, understand your cash flow first. You need to know what your sales, your cost, and your profit is. You have to know that part. Number two, if you do not have an expertise, you find an expert. I found that to be so useful over 20 years. And that's why I love this team that has been part of this event where each of us are an expert. I know, Vatsal, I'll take that away now. I will say we each of us are learning every day to become an expert.
Yep.
Uh, and
They're all students.
absolutely. With AI, I think I feel the same. So, but do you have the team who can achieve that? That's number two. And number three is there is lot of opportunities to borrow money through banks as senior debt who can give you a loan to achieve this opportunity. So if you chose to sign up for any technology upgrade services, I will be with you and tell you we can provide you financing, and it can go all the way up to 100% if you're a healthcare professional or if you're a professional of some kind with a certificate. So opportunity is there to get a lot of funding available. Government grants are available for technology upgrades. So money is on the table. And number three is, please, this is my humble request. Do not fire your people. The technology upgrade does not mean that once the deployment is completed, you go ahead and you fire two people that you had on your business. That's not the point here. The point is to see how can you use technology to 3x, 4x, 5x your business so that it can support the original team that was with you. I want to make this very clear. This event was not created to replace people or replace somebody's income or expense. It's to double, triple, or quadruple what you can do and achieve. I hope that is very clear. Vatsal, I
Very well
hope,
said. Very well said.
right? I mean, we don't want to take away anybody's job here. We want to enhance the opportunity here. Okay. Going a little bit deeper, I have this business plan template. I would love to share it with you, like Vatsal said. In case you're looking for financing, that's where I can come in and help you. The dollar amount does not scare me. It could be $10,000 or 1 million or maybe 10 million. Innovation banking is doing an amazing job right now. So if you are looking to scale and you do not have a team in place, we can help you doing that. I'll pass that back to Manish.
Apurva, I do have one question. I think a lot of people will resonate with that. So this was great insights and great business plan strategy, and some very wise thoughts and words that you chose. So each word would need to be listened very carefully and understood very carefully. So thank you for keeping it succinct. The question is that despite having a good business plan, what are some of the challenges that the business owners face while getting funded, which is beyond the business plan? And what are some of the
Yes.
risks?
Thank you very much. The number one thing is fear, believe me or not. People are fearful when they ask for money. You go buy a house, you're shopping around like crazy between realtors and mortgage advisors. You know why you do that? You are having a fear in your mind whether are you getting the best deal for your money. It's as simple as that. So number one is fear, not part of business plan. Number two is understanding about your market and your product. Vatsal has done a fantastic job showing us that he is an expert on the products he has suggested today. I can tell you a lot of business owners are not an expert on their product and service sometimes because they might be relying on somebody else to achieve that, right? Again, nothing wrong with that, but as long as you put the team together, very important. Number three, financial ratios. Again, if people are not from finance background, you will not understand the relevance of total debt service coverage. Understand all the covenants that go into funding these opportunities. Understand the guarantees required, or even just as basic as what is EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, and depreciation. Like knowing financial ratios may not be your expertise and may not come out on your business plan either. That's where you find the experts who can help you achieve that. Business lending is 100% different than mortgage lending. So don't get confused. Those two aspects of life are totally different. Business lending happens based on the quality of your business, your clients, and your financial plan with now technology plan. That's how it works. Manish bhai, put it back to you.
No, thank you. That's again very well said, Apurva bhai. So if anyone is interested in getting financed, obviously please reach out to Apurva bhai. He's amazing at getting you the money that you need. I know it's 7:03, so I would want to move to Q&A. We do have one question in the chat, and feel free to either post it there or raise your hands, and we can go through those. If there are more questions, I would want to limit, to one question per person so that we can give everyone else the opportunity to ask as well. What's up with the first question that we have in the chat is, how do you design benchmarks that can evaluate performance of this ever-changing LLM models
Yeah.
with
Can we
capabilities that didn't
onboard
exist before?
the person who asked so that we can make it engaging?
Yes,
If
Vivek,
it is
are you
feasible.
on the call? I know you're traveling. Vivek,
Yes, I am on the call. Hello. Good
Vivek,
evening
go
to
ahead. You
everyone.
can ask your question now. Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you first of all. Also, pleased to meet a lot of you, and Vatsal bhai, pleased to meet you again. For attended some of your previous sessions, always insightful. So, my question was, because these LLMs keep evolving at unprecedented scale, like in 1 week you can have Claude, Gemini, GPT-5, and everything else, and then DeepSeek V2 with their new benchmark open source release. We find new capabilities and behavior in a lot of newer models. So, how do you design benchmarks that you yourself know can be, improved with time? There's obviously the product and usage part of the benchmarks, which will not change because product behavior and usage behavior does not change that frequently once a business has already been there. But the technical ones, and how much more granular you can get, that keeps on evolving at a very rapid scale. Like, how do you stay lean and design or redesign those benchmarks with whatever newer benchmarks these models claim XYZ performance on? Or if behind the scenes the models themselves change, like I know GPT-4 and like one of those models, they made the model dumber uh, with the same endpoint. So like those had changed. And how do you keep
Correct.
like drift analysis with all of these changes?
Yep. No, I think that's a good question. And one thing what I will tell first is on Eval is, let me share this link. I think you should. I don't know if you have already watched this podcast with Elia here, which is like OpenAI founder. He had an interview or kind of the podcast yesterday with
Rakesh, right?
Patel. Yeah. I'm sure you might have gone through the kind of the nitty gritty details of how even these companies are claiming the eval and the benchmark. The point I just wanted to conclude, people who had not watched the podcast, the reason he's also not aware how even these models are getting built, and they might be feeding the pre-training data so that this eval or the benchmark looks amazing. The person who's building one of these models, on the internet. So it's very, difficult to just focus on those evals which are coming up from this model versus at least what we do, utilizing all 5 different models, including DeepSeek, in our different use cases, is that we have our own benchmark in the sense of the product value we are giving to the end user rather than coming it from the LLM level. So now what has changed is like, okay, if Gemini, 2.5 and like 3 is coming up now, whatever, and then suddenly things change. But rather than doing that, we are trying to get to the product value and the KPIs and try to keep it aligned with that technical product experience we want to give, if it is especially talking about the software product, Vivek, in this example. And if it is different, industry or the use case, I think that is depending on, we still go back to the the context and try to compare with that model. And another thing at least we do is we don't try to switch over the models overnight. We try to experiment obviously internally to figure out where that is going, where that is landing. And one example is we are using one Claude a model with the clinic, and they're trying to figure out the scoring mechanics. Obviously a lot of context engineering instructions were given, a benchmark were there about the scoring ratings we wanted to give. Whatever the Claude new model had done, for any reasons without understanding how it ended up, all the benchmark went up 10 to 15% above in their scoring mechanics. So whatever they are, let's say, getting out of 10, maybe 5 or 6, every suddenly overnight they are getting 8 of 10, 9 of 10. So it's very hard to balance. So yeah, just to conclude, like that's the benchmark we are looking at. What's the outcome we are giving to the end user, rather than focusing on specifically the benchmark companies are claiming to.
Good question. Thank you, Vivek bhai. And Vivek, thanks for your help as well. You were with us last year and sharing a lot of good information around technology. Vivek is part of YJP from the US, so appreciate you joining. Before I move on to next questions, I do want to thank our YJP team who is here, who made this event happen and supporting us. I see a lot of people here, Ashwita, Shikha, Nikhil, lot. If I missed anybody, Vivek, like, thank you very much for being here. I also want to give a shout out to Ekansh. He has been supporting YJP in 2025, and I'm glad he could join us today. Thank you,
Thank
Ekansh.
you. Thank you.
Kanish, you have a question? Did I pronounce that right, Kanish? Yeah.
Yeah, your
Go
pronunciation
ahead,
was right.
please.
Yes, hi. My name is Kanishk, and I'm a student at Babson College. I'm currently pursuing my master's in finance, and I'll be graduating in December 2026. Now, while preparing along with my course, with everything going around, with AI, so I'm not a software person. I'm deep into finance. I'm like core finance, and that's what I've been doing. And I've been trying to learn and see the use cases of all these tools for investment research purposes. So it's just an open-ended question to get insights from all of you, which is that down the line, how would you recommend anyone who's going to graduate to prepare themselves in this time, so that they are well versed and kind of ahead compared to their peers?
I think Apurva Bhai will be the best
I can
ones.
I can take first, and Vatsal, you can chip in. And Minesh, you've been working for a long time. I think welcome to YJP. Thanks for asking that question. Uh, Personally, in the finance industry, we are focused on people who can they are the user of the tool. And bank is putting some resources together to train people to use the softwares available. So I don't think necessarily you need to know everything. As long as you attended this YJP session, you can tag it to your future employers and say, "Hey, I have done that as part of my education." That's good enough. Because I can tell you, even my directors and other people who might be working for 20 years may be upgrading their skills as well and may not know everything. Vatsal, I'll put it to you, and then Minesh bhai.
Yeah, I think, not much to add, because we are all, to be honest, still learning. We are still going through on everyday basis to, figure out the new tool, new benchmark, new figure out as like, okay, how we can leverage this technology. So I think it's the continuous process that we are all on it right now in this market and the world.
I think I want to add something different, but also connecting to what Vatsal has already mentioned earlier. If I were to go back to his first slide that he said, that identify patterns, like particularly Ganesh, like as you're doing in finance, you will be using data more to connect and identify patterns and using AI to do that. But as everyone else is also saying that, as technology evolves, everyone needs to learn. That's an ever evolving process. Rather than learning the tool, learn the how, right? Focus on the how and get that domain knowledge so that you can apply more context better with AI. So I'm just trying everything back to what Vatsalbhai just presented, getting that domain knowledge and using that to better prompt and better set context, and constantly learning as to how we can improve the responses better for your own good, right? That's how you will be ahead of the curve, because you know how to hack the system, hack it for your benefit.
Got it. That's a good feedback. Thank you for that.
Any more questions?
Minesh bhai, there was one question before through the Google forms, and also there is one on the chat. Uh, Internal AI agent to build a business plan and executing the plan with cloud and financial services. Is that possible? Can you use ChatGPT AI tools to create a business plan? What's all? I'll put it to you.
Uh, I think it depend on if you are, again, going back to the same thing is if you're fitting the enough context on what is the USP, which is basically, the unique selling point you are trying to create for your business. Creating a proposal or creating a Google Doc is not a big deal, right now. Like you can just say it's like, hey, these are the things I wanted to create on Google Cloud as a document, as business proposal for, this finance automation, but trying to be unique or giving that context enough to figure out what is different than others, what is that you are giving as a value than others, like how this can be figured out automatically in a way that creates the value at the end. So I think it's a combination of multiple approach, and don't lose the creativity of your own. So the last slide I share on the retro camera, it is not about the camera or like the app. It is more about keeping your creative innovation as a human be intact to work with this large language model to go beyond than others. So I think that's one thing I want to put it down in one sentence there.
Moving on to the next part from the Google Forms. Minesh bhai, go ahead.
Apurva,
I will say.
I don't have access to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Google form, so
I will put it out. So there was a common theme in the questions that were asked is AI tools or any tools that are discussed today or will be discussed today, is that an important part to scale the business? Or can we continue to be on the traditional side and hire a technical expert outside or hire somebody internally or hire a sales team who can do the same thing? So the question is, do they need to upgrade to the new technology today, or is there more coming?
I think it's coming every day. I don't know if the person is available on the phone, like on the meeting, like if you want to jump in to give some more context. However, it is must even for the internal external team to upgrade their skill set. Number one. Number two, if you hit the wall, even if you are working with a small team, the best advice is to get the external knowledge, external confidence to go and invest your time and resources to that direction. So that's something I would advise. And third is, okay, hiring a salesperson. I think that's a combination with the more towards the sales part. But I would say, okay, if I have the 5 people as a resource team, how can I figure out a system that I talk about and the strategy as a second, with this AI tool to scale up whatever they're doing at X percentage to the Y percentage within the same time frame. So what you are doing is you are doubling your resources by providing the system and the infrastructure depending on the use cases you are working with. So I would, rather than thinking about, do I need more people, should I, one thing Apurva you touch upon is like, we need to keep the people in the company rather than laying them off. And I think that's something you could double down on that and achieve more outcome, rather than thinking about whether I hire or whether I lay off. So I think try to focus on the strategy and the system that you can set up with this AI tools.
Excellent. So I know we are almost at time. Minesh bhai, you would like to close or you have anything else to add?
No, I do have one question if no one else is asking. So I know we talked, but before I ask my question, I just wanted to add to the last question and to what Vatsalva was saying that not all business owners need to go all in and use AI for everything. What they can do is be smart about it and find opportunities to either lower their cost, not by firing people again, but finding opportunities where they can operationally improve using AI and things like that. One thing that my current leader at the company that I work for right now says is use AI to do more with less. They are also the same principle that do not fire people, but do more with the same resources, but with lesser time. with the help of AI.
I agree. Nikhil is on the line. I wanted to ask his thoughts. Nikhil, I know tech is growing in the healthcare space a lot. Do you have anything to say around that?
Yeah, thank you, Apurva, Vatsal, and Manish for the excellent presentation. Yeah, so in terms of healthcare, yeah, it's the same boat as other sectors, whether it's finance or even in the law field. We've seen great adoption within our physicians or even researchers, and even in the pharma space, adopting AI. And like what So was alluding to, it's mostly leveraging and basically scaling. So at the end of the day, what you get is time back. So with those hours, you can use it for, if you're a business owner, kind of more things that you like or you want to grow your business, such as business strategy, and as you were alluding to, Apurva, getting more customers on board, or in this case, patients, because at the end of the day, if you don't have sales, then you don't have a business. So if you focus less on some of the menial or admin tasks, you have more time to dedicate to things that add value and help the business scale. And ultimately, what we should not be satisfied with just even one clinic or two clinics, because at the end of the day, we want to keep growing, we want to keep learning. And when we wake up in the morning, I feel if you have that zest, uh, that should help. It should be like the fuel or the adrenaline that kind of like what YJP does, right? Like you give back, it's more fuel to the fire, and that way
Thank you.
everybody benefits. It's a win-win. So that's just my 2 cents, but thank
Thank you,
you.
Nikhil. Vatsal, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think Nikhil, what you just mentioned really well, and just wanted to give a real example what I'm even doing personally on day to day. I by heart I'm software engineer, write code still, on everyday day to day basis. This is my working ground. So what I used to do as if someone is working in the software IT field, obviously you are writing a so much labor code that is not required maybe. So what I have moved myself by setting up this system on my own is whatever the labor kind of the coding or the infrastructure or the work I need on my day-to-day basis, that has been passed over to these agents. What I'm more focused is out of those, everyone has, as a business owner, you have the list of out of 10s, like these are my complex tasks, where I need a team, where I need an expert. How can I utilize that? So I move those, problem complex systems to the AI to work with me one to one or along with me to figure out how can we resolve this complex workflow. And there's one of the case study I've shared, I think a couple of months back on LinkedIn as well, where the system might have taken me maybe a 1 month to develop, that has been developed within 5 business days. Like the scale is crazy, and these are like the complex work I'm talking about, like just not normal kind of building up small automation or something. So I think, if you think like, okay, which are my, as a business owner, the complex task that I can leverage, and the rest as a labor work can be put as this agentic AI based systems there.
Excellent, Vatsal. Ekansh, I want to give you a minute. You have done a lot of work in automating your business. You want to talk about it for a minute or quick?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Prabhu. Hello everyone. I'm Ekansh. I have my business, Actors Consulting Services. We are into ERPs and implementation consulting services and staffing as well. So what we have done, we have automated a lot of HR related processes like generating offer letters, generating contracts, client contracts, vendor contracts. So this is all templatized. So as Vatsal has said, I'm 100% agree with him that whichever is the redundant work and which you keep on repeating, those can be automated. And in addition to that, like creating the sales pitches. So some tools also we have been using like Gamma app, which is helping us a lot, which has AI factor as well. And I shared some insights too on the group, WhatsApp group that Apurva and Vatsal has created, right? So I think, especially wherever you see repetitive work, those can be automated either by using the tools or by automating them or integrating it. So Vatsal may talk in detail, like we have been using Zapier to do the lot of automations and integrations, especially like doing a LinkedIn post. So, I mean, Apur Bhai is master in LinkedIn posts. I have always been appreciating him throughout almost, I don't know how many years I know him. So those things can be even automated as well now when you want to do it. And that's what we are working right now. That is our current use case. So that's what I wanted to say. A lot of our HR business functions have been automated, which includes relieving letter or anything like that. And now we are focusing on other business functions like sales, business development. So sales also we have automated the outreach. But as I said, and I mean it's amalgamation of human as well as the system. So basically for calls we are using human, but for outreach we are using system. So that's how we have. So I'm 100% agree with the fact that we don't have to fire people, but we can scale up using AI. What we are doing, like if you're reaching out to 10 people, we can reach to 100 people now using AI. So I mean, probably we will need more people actually, I would say, using AI. So that's a good use cases. And Apurva, I
Yeah.
can share more on the groups as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ekansh bhai. You said it right. What's the harm in making a million when you can, right? If you
That's
have
true.
100K, why not make a million? Then we can hire 3 more people.
Correct.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's great. Darsh was having his hand up for a while. Darsh, over to you. And then after that, one last question and we end the call. Darsh, over to you.
Yeah. So this is just a technical question. Um, I'm a student currently in computer engineering, and like I've been tinkering with AI and just like trying to make my own AI, which is also like, something I'm doing right now. If I were so, how do I leverage like I'm just learning how to make AI. This is a side project that I'm doing on my own. I'm making an autocorrect. But what can I do to learn more of like how the AI works? And at the same time, when I do make something like this, how can I pitch this to other people to sell it as a business and make profit off of that? That was my main question.
Okay, yeah. So I think you have two questions. One is how to figure out and double down on how the AI works. And I think I don't know, like that answer is very simple because there's like millions and millions of resources available. You just go on any sort of the platform. You go on YouTube, you go on Udemy. It's like infinite resources are available to double click. Also, I would also encourage to just listen out the smart people out there, doing podcasts to understand their thinking process. I love them. I just don't love because what are they talking, but also the thinking process for what context even they are coming from, right? What kind of information they have. As one of the obviously the co-founder of OpenAI there, which is now is building SSI there. But like I love that kind of the information to just figure out what's happening or how can even we leverage more. And I think the second half of the equation is more towards how can you pitch something you are building. I would go the other way around. I mean, obviously as a business owner, if you ask anyone, no one just build the company and find the clients. They might have experienced some sort of the problems, they have some sort of the pain, and then they are trying to solve the a problem with the a solution or the product. So try to figure out any sort of the commonality, pain, or the problem statement you are finding nearby. That then you can build the product. If you build the product, there's like other 100,000 of products are available, right? There is no value creating there. Versus you find the problem first, and then you figure out, do you really need the AI for that, or you can work with just the automation, or can be built differently. So I
Okay.
think try to go the other way around. You'll find more valuable outcome there.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I think in order to close, we are at 7:27. So I think this was a wonderful session. So thank you, Vatsal bhai and Apurva bhai, for insights and a lot of learning that has been taken away from this. Personally, I've taken a lot of notes that I want to do for my insurance business as well. Last but not least, yes, Vatsalva is offering 15 free slots. So make sure you leverage his time and get those free sessions booked in. And also we have the WhatsApp chat open if you want to ask any questions there. Yeah, and if you need any business financing or something like that, we have Apurva bhai, please reach out to him. And if you have insurance needs or want to learn more about data, please feel free to reach out to me as well. Yeah.
Thank you,
Just wanted
Manish.
to say one more. Just want to say one more thing. Try to include the YJP in the subject or the context if you are booking the call. And Apurva bhai, Minesh bhai, great job. Thank you so much. For giving the platform opportunity. And I think there is more to share, more to learn. So keep learning.
Thank you, absolutely. And I want to say thank you to Minesh Doshi, who is our Masters of Ceremony today and our sponsor for YJP for 2025. Great job. Thanks for keeping us in check. And preparing. This event didn't happen today. We were planning for it for last 2 to 3 weeks, and this content created was unbelievable. I think giving you an opportunity to think about how you can implement technology in your business. Vatsal, go ahead.
No, just one last caveat I said in the beginning that I'll share is the presentation you all saw. I haven't done any single word. That was all created by the AI with the context, the exactly what I wanted to fit. So not a single line of work was done, but that was all the context I fit to the AI. So I hope you enjoy the presentation and some insight. The insights were obviously the real. There's no AI here, so I'm here. But the presentation was that was the caveat.
What's up? That was like a mic drop moment, That's my time.
Yeah, and funny enough, AI and any new technology does not appreciate people. So I take the time to appreciate everybody who is on the call today. Please look out for the email summary that will have more information about how to connect with us, what you learned today, and also give you an opportunity to reconnect for a future event. Did I say it too loud? For a future event that we can try to have through YGP. So thank you very much. Have a great evening and Jai Jinendra, everybody.
Jai Jindra, everyone. Thank you.
Jai Jinendra. Nice shirt, by the way, Apurva.
Thank you. I'm glad you recognized. Thank you. Bye.